I didn't expect it to become that much of a firefight that soon. Obviously, I know that was Ennis's plan, but I think Xander was sort of like thinking, you're coming up to my weight, I'm the bigger guy, so I'm going to try and make you feel some things. And it was a good fight. It was a very good fight. There was things you could take from both fighters, goods and bads, and pros and cons. I love watching it.
Boots has openly talked about the dream of being undisputed at 154. Is that a fight all going well on Saturday that you want to turn your attention
100%.
towards?
Saturday first though, but 100%.
Virgil Ortiz.
We'll bring it to yeah, bring that, sweet. Stadium I like it, sweet.
Stadium I like, is that the goal?
Yes, sir. I'm not bothered about America. Come over in the cold northeast. See what you like on a cold northeast. Derby, you know, one of them ones.
Josh Kelly isn't ducking anyone, and now he's calling out the toughest name in the welterweight division. The Sunderland fighter made his intentions crystal clear, throwing down the gauntlet for a unification showdown with Jaron Boots Ennis, and the boxing world is taking notice.
And it wasn't Eddie. I think it was Eddie's lawyer who said it. So it's all smoke and mirrors, like, and then they put it out to the media. Listen, I'll take the Jaron Ennis fight 100%. Give me the right money and the right time, I'm there. I'll fight Jaron Ennis. These fights need to be prepared for. You can't just be saying, right, 24 hours, you got this many weeks, you got to fly here, you got this much money. It doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? We're fighters as well, and I'm an established fighter. I'm not just a fighter who's like, oh, he's somewhere in the rankings, so you can just give him that I'm an established fighter, an established name, so it doesn't work like that.
Diving deeper into the matchup itself, Kelly broke down why this fight is anything but straightforward on paper. He pointed out that both men carry awkward, uncomfortable styles for anyone across the ring, meaning the outcome could hinge less on power and more on who disrupts the other's timing first.
From a fight against Jaron Ennis?
Yeah, I've got a horrible style. He's got a horrible style, but I don't think he's ever boxed anyone similar to himself. Do you know what I mean? So it'll be who breaks the rhythm first. So if he wants to walk us down, play that game, and I can give him a boxing lesson.
Yeah, I know you spoke about it with the Conor Ben fight. You spoke about like Eddie Hearn being a bit bitter towards you for leaving. Do you still feel that's the case, especially with this Boots Ennis fight?
I mean, I don't know why he's not answered the phone, Adam. Like, ring Adam. No, don't go through lawyers and don't put it out there in the media without us knowing it.
Kelly closed out his comments by making clear he won't be boxed into terms meant for a prospect still climbing the ranks. As a fighter with real standing in the sport, he's not interested in scrambling to meet last-minute demands. Still, he left the door open, confirming he's genuinely up for the fight, provided the purse and scheduling line up.
So get the best out of yourself, and you must feel like Jaron Ennis, who, you know, arguably people talk about him being a pound-for-pound spar, you must feel like that's your statement almost to a world scene, being like, look, I'm here and I'm definitely in these conversations.
For sure. I mean, my name's getting linked with them, so I must be someone who is there and thereabouts. Do you know what I mean? Well, I am someone who's there and thereabouts. In the rankings, there'll be updated rankings. There'll be Zayas, me, then Jaron Ennis. Yeah. So for me to go straight and fight for a world title, I'd rather that all day long. But I have to fight Jaron Ennis to get there, and so be it.
Adam Booth weighed in with a clear head, agreeing that the numbers line up with both men sitting near the top of the WBO rankings. A clash between Ennis and Kelly could realistically serve as a final eliminator for a world title shot. Booth made it clear his side isn't shying away from the opportunity, but stressed the terms must be right.
WBO rankings. The champion is now Xander Zayas. The #1 contender was Perez, who's just lost to Zayas, so he drops down. The next challenger is Josh Kelly, and the one after Josh is Jaron Ennis. So it makes absolute sense to try and make that fight, because it would look like a World Cup semi-final. It's a final, it could be a final eliminator. So I get it, it makes sense. And if you want to make it, then make us the right offer. We want the fight, and we'll talk business.
That's what I mean. When it comes to fighting someone like Boots as well, like, he's obviously somewhat a name in America. You know, he sells a lot of tickets in Philadelphia on the East Coast.
Booth also pulled back the curtain on the business side of things, revealing that Ennis's name was already written into their multi-fight arrangement from the start. He admitted the deal was struck at a time when many doubted Kelly, but with his recent form flipping that narrative, Booth framed it now as simply a question of business lining up with the right moment.
Oh, like, about Boots as well.
Great fighter.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't have a belt.
But what was it? Because Eddie was saying, obviously, the fight, like, Josh had signed for the fight.
So we signed a multi-fight deal with Matchroom, and in that contract there were names, and Boots Ennis is one of them. And we signed that contract at a time when, let's be honest, everybody hoped that Josh would win, but nobody truly believed he was going to win. Yeah. And not only is he won with class, He won with class in an amazing event, and the feedback and the backlash from Saturday night has been incredible, and it's probably been more than any of us could have hoped for.
Adding his perspective to the conversation, Timothy Bradley Jr. broke down why this matchup deserves serious attention. He positioned Kelly as a genuinely tough test for Ennis, arguably trickier than the Ortiz fight, pointing to his hand and foot speed, along with a slippery, hard-to-read movement pattern, as the elements that set this potential clash apart from the rest.
Another guy that they're talking about Boots facing is Josh Kelly. I think Josh Kelly's a little bit more difficult fight, believe it or not, than Virgil Ortiz. Styles make fights. Josh Kelly don't look like much, but he's quick. He got good reflexes. He got some pop on his shots. He's very deceiving. And he got legs. And he gonna move around all night, and Boots gonna have to chase. He gonna have to chase. And he gonna have to chase. And you know, Boots don't really like to chase.
Building on that point, Bradley broke down exactly what makes Kelly such an awkward assignment. He explained that Kelly's sharp reactions and ring IQ would put Ennis in the uncomfortable position of having to be the hunter, constantly working to cut off angles against a fighter built to slip away and frustrate.
When they talking, well, if he's standing right there in front of me, it's gonna be night, you know, it's not gonna be a short night. They like guys that stand in front of them. Virgil Ortiz, yeah, they like guys that stand in front of them. That's what they like. But I think the fight's gonna be a little bit more challenging just because of that aspect. I think Boots will eventually catch up with him, cut him off, hurt him with a big shot, because, you know, Josh Kelly isn't the most, his defense, even though he's very elusive, Boots throwing combinations, something eventually gonna crack that defense.
Wrapping up his breakdown, Bradley still landed on Ennis as the favorite. He argued that despite the early difficulty, staying composed and consistently walking Kelly down with combinations would eventually pay off, with Ennis expected to find the gaps in Kelly's elusiveness and close the show emphatically. Patience and relentless pressure would be the difference maker.
You know, especially when guys that they just like to use the head movement and be, you know, elusive and agile. You can let those punches fly, man, and something eventually is gonna get in there. And as long as Boots is pressing forward, cutting off the ring, right, prepare himself for boxers, he should have no problem beating Josh Kelly. However, like I said, it's gonna be a little bit more time for him to be able to get to him, judging by, you know, what I know about Boots Ennis.
While Paulie laid out the case for why this fight makes the most sense right now, he pointed to the shared Matchroom banner as a natural connector, while also noting Kelly's current standing as IBF World Champion, a detail that in his eyes turns this from a mere option into a genuine unification opportunity.
Meantime, the easiest fight to probably make is the Josh Kelly fight. You know, Josh Kelly's the IBF Junior Middleweight Champion. He's also signed to Matchroom, as is Jaron Ennis. Josh Kelly was at one time looked at as a budding superstar, good-looking kid, an Olympic medalist, but as a pro, he just wasn't panning out at all. And it looked like he was going to be a complete bust. And then out of nowhere, he came up and he upset what's his name for the IBF title in his last fight. Was the other boogeyman at 154 pounds. Josh Kelly did. Forget these names. All these two Eastern Europeans here.
Digging deeper into what Kelly could bring to the table, Paulie revisited his amateur pedigree. He recalled Kelly's roots as an Olympic medalist and a prospect once tipped for big things, suggesting that on the right night, with everything clicking, he's capable of giving Ennis a genuinely stiff test. Paulie was careful to note that consistency has been the question mark throughout Kelly's career.
Not 30, right? It's a chance to grab another world title for Ennis. One in unification. And listen, Kelly, for all the not having lived up to the expectation that he's done, listen, if Kelly can be as special as he was predicted to be for one night, listen, you never know what happens in that fight. Obviously, Ennis has been special every single time he's out there and fights. There's no inconsistency to Ennis, unlike Kelly. But Kelly at his best, there was a reason why there was a lot of expectation heaped on Kelly that he never lived up to. So you always wonder if that Josh Kelly can show up.
Paulie framed the fight as one of the simplest to put together. With few promotional hurdles standing in the way, he sees it as a smart, low-friction step for Ennis to keep his momentum rolling, before eyeing a bigger showdown down the line against Sebastian Fundora. There's little reason for either side to drag their feet on getting it done.
What has to be next to Jaron Ennis, I think, is Josh Kelly. It's the easiest fight to make. There's not a lot of complications in making that fight. You make that fight, and then from there you go into the Fundora fight. Depending on how Ennis does and looks against Kelly, because again, Ennis looks terrific every time he's fought, and so that's why he is this budding star. But when you are a budding star, there's also so much expectation for you to look good every single time out. So we'd have to make sure that Ennis stays consistently looking really great so that he can move on into the picture with Fundora possibly. And Fundora, of course, is a very difficult guy to deal with. Listen, Fundora is going to be difficult to deal with for anybody.
Adding weight to the discussion, Sergio Mora and Chris Mannix broke down why Kelly fits the moment. Both saw it as a smart, winnable unification opportunity, or Hugh-Man, a chance for Ennis to keep his championship momentum rolling without diving straight back into grueling, high-stakes territory like a rematch-level clash with Ortiz or a bout against Fundora.
I mean, that's the I shouldn't even say easiest. Josh Kelly is a hell of a fighter, but he's not as hard as Fundora. He's not as hard as Virgil Ortiz. I mean, these are monsters. I mean, he just got done with a physical fight. Even though Boots was in a one-sided physical fight, it was still a taxing physical fight. And for him to come back and be in another one right away, it doesn't make sense when he's already reached this elite level and the paydays are going to follow. And like you said, cracking the pound for pound rankings. This is what you worked your entire life.
Naturally, the conversation shifted to where such a fight could actually land. Mora floated the idea of staging it in the UK given Kelly's background, but Mannix pushed back, pointing out that Kelly doesn't carry major drawing power at home, steering the discussion toward a US setting instead, emerging as the more sensible option. The duo turned their attention to when this could realistically happen. Mannix suggested a Kelly fight is very much doable before the year is out, likely landing sometime between September and November, while a potential showdown with Ortiz seems destined to wait until early 2027 at the earliest. For now, Kelly appears to be the most practical step before a bigger unification clash.
Unify, it's another champion, it's a winnable fight. It's a fight that would probably sell really well, especially if it's in the UK.
No, it does not. It doesn't sell anything in the UK. Josh Kelly's not a big star.
Josh Kelly would do well?
No, I don't. I don't think it does well over there. And I don't think Matchroom doesn't think it does well over there. Matchroom's not putting that fight in the UK. That's in Philadelphia. That's in Atlantic City. That's in New York City. Maybe that's in Vegas if you can get enough money. There's no way that Boots Ennis happens against Josh Kelly. I don't disagree.
Well, look, it's always under my impression that when we're dealing with a British champion, they have...
Shifting focus to a broader debate swirling around the matchup, Sean Zittel goes in on style versus substance. Both fighters are widely praised for elite athleticism and eye-catching movement, but the real question circling the discussion is which man offers more than just flash. The debate centers on whether Kelly has the staying power to hold up against someone of Ennis's caliber.
The right fight, a fight that makes the most sense. Virgil, I would want to do Virgil next if I'm a boxing fan. I'm, Eddie Hearn, but my understanding is that Virgil is more likely to take another fight before going into a fight with Boots. He hasn't, I keep reading the stuff, people he's been off for a year. No, he hasn't. He fought in November, right? It's now June, so he hasn't been off that long. But it is my understanding that as part of this resolution with Golden Boy, we are going to see Virgil face somebody else before he takes on Boots Ennis. So that fight is coming. That fight could happen very early in 2027, but I do not expect that fight to happen this year. I think Josh Kelly's a very makeable fight.
You don't think it happens this year?
From there, attention moves to the technical hurdles standing between Kelly and success. The breakdown moves in on Ennis's power, sharp shot selection, and ring intelligence, painting a picture of just how difficult it would be to land clean work against an operator of his level. It's framed as a genuine stress test for Kelly's defensive instincts and overall game plan.
The video talking about Josh Kelly and Jaron Ennis and comparing their kind of otherworldly athleticism at times, but then at the same time, Ennis has become a unified champion. Kelly's looking to become a champion for the first time, but there's still the jury out on Jaron Ennis at the highest level. Is he more sizzle than steak? And right. I do think with Josh Kelly, there is a little bit more sizzle than steak. And it's funny enough that he's lined up to fight Ennis. Eddie Hearn confirmed that to me and a few other outlets during the Raymond Murataya Andy Cruz fight week.
Rounding out the discussion, the focus turns to what Kelly still needs to prove. The point raised is that consistent, high-level activity is non-negotiable if Kelly wants to be taken seriously alongside a unified champion. He can't simply lean on flashes of brilliance and expect that to carry him. Instead, the case is made that sustained execution, night after night, is what separates contenders from true elite company.
It's actually probably the best thing about Bakaram is his punch selection, and it's going to be intriguing to see Josh Kelly's reflexes deal with that, because he will throw things that you don't expect. He will throw a counter left hook to the body. He will throw the lead right hand if you overcommit. So I think this fight's going to be a test of Josh Kelly's not just talent, not just his will, but equally his boxing IQ.
Well, yeah, it's going to be a test of his will, and I do think he's got a little bit of front runner.
Turning to the promotional side of things, Blue Blood Sports TV revealed Eddie Hearn offered insight into how Kelly landed on the radar in the first place. With talks around a Sebastian Fundora fight stalling out, Hearn pointed to Kelly as a fallback target for Ennis, though he made it contingent on Kelly first getting through his July 25th assignment.
Well, now Eddie Hearn is stating that obviously his fighter, who beat Bakaram Mataliev shockingly, has a fight coming up. He has a fight coming up July 25th, and that's Josh Kelly. Okay, it looks like Josh Kelly, he be victorious. Okay, who is 18 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 9 wins by way of knockout. 32 years of age, British fighter.
Building on that, the discussion shifts to why Kelly's name actually carries real weight. His standout upset over Bahram Murtazaliev earlier in the year gets singled out as the turning point, a result that instantly boosted his profile and put him in serious conversation as a credible threat to a fighter of Ennis's stature.
Yeah, shockingly. In a very entertaining fight, he won a majority decision. Bahram Mataliev was seen as the boogeyman in the division. Josh Kelly beat him shockingly. In the eyes of many, including myself. I was extremely shocked that Josh Kelly won that fight. I was picking Bakaram to win the fight, okay? And Josh Kelly won the fight. Now, Josh Kelly has a fight coming up July 25th. That's not official yet, but he has a fight coming up, and should he be victorious July 25th?
Meanwhile, Ade Oladipo turned to how things might actually unfold. He noted that an agreement between the two sides is believed to already be in place, explaining that if a Virgil matchup doesn't materialize, Kelly's title becomes the next logical target, though getting Boots into a Sunderland ring brings its own set of logistical headaches.
I believe it's signed to fight Boots. Don't know about that. I mean, Boots is gonna fight, I think Eddie mentioned something, or was it Ben Whittaker mentioned Atlanta, and I'm guessing that's gonna be very soon. Josh Kelly is not gonna turn around to fight that soon, so I'm guessing the hope is Boots will have one, which won't be Virgil, and if they don't do Virgil, they'll go for Josh Kelly's IBF title. I don't know if Josh Kelly can get him to Sunderland. I don't know if that's possible, but that will be his best bet of a victory.
Circling back to Kelly's own outlook, he laid out how he sees his path forward at 154 pounds. Locking down his next title defense, he explained, opens the door to the sport's biggest names, with Ennis and Ortiz both squarely in his sights if either is genuinely hunting for top-tier competition. For Kelly, the division's biggest opportunities begin with taking care of business in his next outing.
Do you look at the 154-pound division and think there's some bangers out there for me, some really big fights, like get past this one and it really unlocks, if Boots and Virgil don't come to a deal, they're both going to need opponents, and if you've got a belt, then you're going to be right up amongst them.
When I get that belt, then they're going to be screaming my name, because they'll be thinking, yeah, I'll get a bit of Josh, but my start's horrible to fight. It's horrible. I'm unpredictable. I can fight as well, and actually, when I grew up, I was a tough.
From there, he shifted into explaining exactly why he believes he's such an awkward matchup for someone like Boots. Kelly described his own game as a bag of unpredictable tools, one that resists easy preparation, setting his slippery, hard-to-time movement apart from the more conventional approaches most fighters bring into the ring, insisting he has the grit to match anyone toe-to-toe. His belief is that forcing opponents into unfamiliar territory is what gives him his greatest edge.
Kid from Sunderland, I used to stand toe to toe and just go with people. So I've got that in us. If all tactics go out the window, and listen, get to a fight. I'm tough and I'll get in there and I'll stand with you and I'll go. If that needs to be done, it needs to be done. But That's what I'm saying. I'm unpredictable. It's hard to prepare for someone like me.
He closed by pushing back hard on any suggestion that he's all flash and no substance. Far from just a fighter who wins on footwork alone, Kelly made clear that he's fully prepared to dig in and trade if a fight against someone like Boots turns into a genuine battle. In his view, toughness is just as much a part of his identity as his movement and skill.
I'm just a box of tricks. It's horrible.
I suppose with the PBK moniker and how you look and all the rest of it, people don't appreciate that side of your game. That side of your game. They think that you are a pretty boy who does the slick stuff and great footwork on Instagram and all the rest of it. But when the going gets tough, you're keen to get going.
I haven't really had to show it really. Obviously, 147, I was just a shell of a man in terms of weight and mindset and everything. But I just ask any one of the guys who I've ever sparred, ever been in. Can Josh fight? Yeah, he can fight inside, 100%. But
whether it's Sunderland or a US arena, this could be one of the most intriguing unification fights the division has seen in years. Boots Ennis versus Josh Kelly. Is this the fight that finally gets made? Drop your prediction in the comments. And if you don't want to miss the moment this one gets official, make sure you're subscribed with notifications on.